we've been your job search besties and helped you in some way, there's a cool way you can support the show. Shout us a virtual coffee.
We get a huge kick out of reading all of your success stories. Head to buymeacoffee.com/interviewboss and shout us a cuppa.
If you keep us caffeinated, we can keep the content coming. And this is epic.
This is prompt number 8 is the Emma Smith prompt.
Although I'm scared because maybe this is going to replace me. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Interview Boss. My name is Emma. I'm a radio journalist who's teamed up with my sister to give you advice, inspiration and support when you're looking for a new job. Sarah is a HR and recruitment professional, and together we're excited to give you all the tips, tricks and behind the scenes knowledge to help you in your career.
Hey Em, and welcome back our wonderful listeners. It is time for our favourite part of every single episode. It's the Shoot Your Shot shout out, where we give you guys a shout out, our amazing listeners who've gone out there into the world. You've shot your shot and you've had a win to share with us. Em, this week we're shouting out Yohan.
Yes, Yohan said, well, I just started listening to the podcast and this is exactly what I was looking for. Even more. I don't know how you make it this easy, but this is better than any other source I've come across, even my friend in HR. Oof, unlucky HR friend. You've been demoted. The About Me advice is spectacular and I have never felt confident about my story before. I just bought one coffee because I don't want you to drink too much, but I'm going to buy more along the way until I get an offer.
Oh, that's
Thank you,
incredible. Johan. Thank you so much, Yohan. We will caffeinate responsibly, we promise. But I love that saying that it's better than other sources he's come across. I was reminiscing the other day. I can't remember for what reason. And I remembered back to when I was in high school in maths class. I happened to be very good at maths. I just quite enjoyed the logic of like working through the problems and stuff.
Can I just side note?
Mm-hmm.
This is how polar opposite Sarah and I are. Today I'm selling an old sofa bed and I went to list it on like Facebook Marketplace, and I asked my partner, who's a carpenter, for a tape measure. And his tape measure is in millimeters. And so I'm measuring and I'm just going into factory reset mode.
No.
I just want to write it in centimeters. And I had there's cobwebs in my brain. I'm flashing back to year 1 maths. I'm like, there's so many zeros. Do you drop it? And I had to go and get him from the garage and be like, what's this in centimeters? So, there's 2 camps of people and Sarah is in the other camp.
Practical everyday reality maths, terrible. School maths where you've like got rules and stuff, amazing. Love a formula, all of that.
Matthew had 47 pineapples. He had to divide them amongst 9 friends, but if the square root of 69 and lightning strikes, how many apples are left?
Okay. Can I finish my story, please?
Yes.
So I would always finish my work first. And you weren't meant to get up and walk around, except I used to have special permission to get up and walk around because I used to really like going to help people. And I'd walk over to people on the other side of the room and be like, oh, how are you going? And they'd be like, oh, I don't know, I just don't really get this bit. And I'd be like, yeah. So the way the teacher explained it is kind of okay, but like I think about it like this. And I'd explained it a different way and they'd be like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. So all this to say, Yohan, that's such a huge compliment because I have always loved explaining things in a way that really breaks it down and makes it really easy for people. I just love it. It's something that I've done my whole life in different settings. Like I was a tutor when I was at uni. I had little first years. Just love it.
She thrives on explaining complex problems in an accessible manner, and that's why we're succeeding in this venture. So now, if you are finding some of the concepts a little bit tricky and you want some more tailored help, you can check out Sarah's one-on-one interview coaching sessions. We also have the Interview Academy. If you're understanding our concepts, but you need your hand held, you need it broken down into clear, achievable steps to help get you going, you can check out all about the different help we have available at interviewboss.com.au.
Yes, you can. And if you liked one of our episodes, you used one of our tips, you want to say thank you for something, you had a light bulb moment, I really want to know about it, slide into our DMs on Instagram. You can slide into our inbox by messaging us from our website, all the different ways. You have to follow us first. Those are the rules around here. Emma says you must follow before you slide into the DMs. And maybe we'll do an episode tailored to you. We're thinking about our next big year. This is our last episode of our 4th season. Can you believe it, Em? It's been a big year.
No. Wait, next year we start our 5th season.
Yeah, I know. And we're going to have to re-record that thing that slides in and can be like, can you believe it's 4 seasons? We only just re-recorded that. Like, it's just crazy.
Oh my God.
The years start coming and they don't stop coming. I feel like I said that
Thanks,
wrong.
Smash Mouth.
You know what I mean? Okay, let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
ChatGPT, which I'm excited about because you're a bit of a ChatGPT connoisseur. Now, I've said on this pod before, Sarah's a gadget girly. She's also a tech girly. She's a woman in STEM. So when it comes to ChatGPT prompts, you know she's all over it. And this is really the difference between the people that are like, it didn't really do what I wanted, I don't know, and the people who like use it for everything, is the people who don't think it's that good, don't know how to prompt it in the best way.
Yes, totally. I love ChatGPT so much that I pay for the premium version and I use it constantly for all kinds of stuff, honestly.
What does the premium version get you?
Well, you'll see if you use the free version, it gives you like a couple of back and forths on like the GPT-4, and then this is currently as of the end of 2024. This is all going to change, I'm sure, if you're listening to it in the future. But then you go back to like the other non-4 version. It's just not as smart and it just doesn't give us good answers and it kind of forgets what you talked about previously. And it, it doesn't remember your conversations as well. It's just not quite as good. And they get you hooked on the GPT-4 when you get the free version. But look, I'm not here promoting this. This is not sponsored by anyone. I happen to personally think that it's worth it. But I think you can do all of these things with the absolute free version. So jump in there and play around with it. Now, we have an episode on what you should and shouldn't use ChatGPT for, which we released last year, which feels like forever ago, like that we were first kind of talking about this. I think it's come a long way with its new versions and stuff. And also, I've started seeing way more content about it. And like in people trying to automate applying for jobs or automate kind of responding to interview questions. And I've also noticed it a lot in people's applications. People are starting to sound a lot like one another. And I think that's because they're putting the questions into ChatGPT. So I think now more than ever, instead of saying, don't use it, here's what's bad about it, I want you to use it responsibly because it's a tool like anything, and this app is super practical. It's actionable tips that you can use today. This will come with a free download as well that you can grab on our website so that you can actually copy and paste these if you'd like them.
Now, yeah, like you said, we have touched on it before, but this app is a bit more practical. We have some actionable tips that you can actually use today. But to rehash our warnings, it's a tool and it can help you, but we do not want to just rip things straight out of it and sound not like a person.
Yes, I actually recorded a bit of a stitch on TikTok. So the CEO of Shoutout, which is a fashion brand in Australia, actually posted a video to TikTok showing that they got a job application for someone to work with her, like on a particular brand or on a different business that she's starting. And the cover letter that was in the actual email was copied and pasted directly from ChatGPT. And where it said insert skill here or insert company name, it was still in there.
Oh,
and
come on.
Even at the very beginning of the email, it said something like, rewrite this in a more professional tone.
No.
Or like it's still, and it said, here it is in a more professional tone. And so it included all of that. Like just that application is going straight in the bin. Honestly, at that point, you would have been better to be like, please find resume attached. Like truly, that would have been better.
Wow.
Truly. So please do not copy and paste directly. You have to read it. If you're not prepared to read it, then do not use it for whatever that thing is. If you don't have that time, it should be used as a tool. But with that warning aside, let's get into it. What are the prompts that we've got for everyone, Em? What are we recommending?
Well, in true Interview Boss fashion, we've actually created a download that goes with this episode so you can steal these prompts right off us. You can't steal directly from ChatGPT, but you've got permission to steal directly from us. So, prompt 1, we want to set the right tone. So, we're going to tell it to give us a tone that is professional yet friendly and approachable.
Yes, I find, have you put much into ChatGPT and gone back and forth before? Like, have you done some testing?
Yes. And this is probably what I never do, tell it to do tone. So it always comes back way too serious and cold.
Over the top and really as if you were operating in a cartoon world where you send emails to people. I hope this email finds you well. Who says that? Just also pro tip. We laugh about this in the office. ChatGPT, for whatever reason, starts every single email out with, I hope this email finds you well. And if somebody leaves it in there, I'm just it's straight out of chat. Who says that? Who legitimately says that?
No, my go-to at work is, hello, so-and-so, Emma from company here. I don't even say I just go, Emma from company here. Hope you're well. I don't say I hope or I hope this, just hope you're well.
I hope this email finds you well. That's right. And so you would just never write it like that. Anyway, so getting the right tone is really important. And I think that you can use this prompt for regardless of what you're using it for. You might even be using it for work. I use it for work a little bit, quite a lot, not a little bit, quite a lot. And this can help you get your tone right for anything, emails, writing documents, whatever it is. So it defines the tone in a tone that is professional yet friendly and approachable. And it's a bit longer of a prompt because I find that sometimes when you say professional yet friendly, then it comes out with hey, what's going on? And it's too casual. And you're like, no, I want something in between.
It really shows that it's not a human, doesn't it?
Right. And so you've got to that's the key with, prompting it in the correct way. So copy and paste that one to get the right tone in those emails.
Prompt 2, we're going to educate ChatGPT on how we do things at Interview Boss. So we're going to tell it to write a resume bullet point the way that Interview Boss does using our guess what, prove it, so what method. For a refresher,
yes.
Guess what is an action verb to describe what you did in a clear sentence. Prove it adds evidence like the numbers, systems, software, methodologies, or other measurable data to actually show how you did that. And then the so what, the impact. And this is why it mattered. This is how it benefited the business. So we're going to make it write our dot points in not just a fluffy way with a heap of buzzwords.
Yes. And look, I think you can still probably workshop each of these. I'm going to keep saying that, prepare for me to keep repeating that as we go through this episode. But it really, really helps you get started. I think that's what we're here for. So you might say, help me write a resume bullet point about, and you want to dump something in. Let's say you were trying to write a resume bullet point, M, about writing the hourly news bulletins. You might say, help me write a resume bullet point about writing hourly news bulletins combined from lots of sources. You can just dump your stuff in there. What you put into ChatGPT doesn't have to sound good, but you just want to be giving it the information about what you do. And obviously, it's not going to be able to come up with the numbers, the systems, the software, whatever, if you don't give it that information.
Yeah, you have to feed it.
Yes, you have to feed it. What do they say? Garbage in, garbage out. That's the case for all systems. Garbage in, garbage out. So give it the information, see what it comes out with, and then go back and forth with it, I would say. So you might think, okay, it's still sounding a bit generic, and that's probably because I don't have enough information. You might say, rewrite that, but include this detail. Rewrite that, but I want to make it clear that I do this every hour on the hour in between doing other stuff. And it might add some details in there to refine it even further. So go back and forth with it. But this prompt will help it do the bullet point in a way that fits with our way that we teach.
Yes. Prompt number 3, there's actually 3 parts to this prompt. So consider it prompt 3 in brackets A. So this is to help you write your cover letter, and make sure you do it step by step, not all at once. And we're going to tell it to use the Interview Boss template because, of course, we have a template for that.
Yes. If you haven't already got the Interview Boss cover letter template, go and get a copy of that. This is going to help you draft that cover letter in that way that we describe. There's an episode we've got about cover letters. We kind of talk about a 3-paragraph way of doing it. And you're going to be drafting or helping to draft each paragraph of your cover letter one by one, because I think this is where people go wrong with things like cover letters. What would you do if you were like 101 shortcut trying to write a cover letter with ChatGPT? What do you think most people are doing to write a cover letter using ChatGPT? What are they doing?
Just saying, write me a cover letter about why I would make a good insert job title.
Yeah, and they might give it the job description and nothing else. They might give it their resume and nothing else.
And then it just fills up with buzzwords about I'm highly driven and believe I could be an excellent asset to the team.
Yes, or it's like regurgitating stuff from the job description or something. Like, it can only work with what you're giving it. Garbage in, garbage out. If you only give it your resume, it's going to regurgitate your resume. Now, what do we know about cover letters? They should be adding beyond your resume. You know, if this is revelation to you, go and listen to the cover letter episode. They should be adding stuff that's not on your resume. If you're kind of feeling like it's just restating the same thing in different words, well, then you're doing it wrong. It shouldn't be doing that. It should be adding things that you haven't already mentioned. Like, why are you interested in this particular company? And if you're like, well, I'm not, well, then don't write a cover letter for that company. But if you go, hey, I've bought their products before, or I've got a friend who works there, or I've heard good things about them, or I saw this news update, great.
Or I'm looking to switch into the private space after being in not-for-profits.
Yep. Or like you're a little bit about your kind of story, like you're taking the next step. Maybe you're relocating. Maybe you're coming back into the workforce, the kind of your context. Those things won't be found on your resume. And that's what should be going into your cover letter. So prompt number 3, the first one is going to talk about your first paragraph. The second one is going to talk about your second paragraph. And the third one is going to talk about your third paragraph. And you will have to dump a few bits in there. You're going to have to say, it's this company, it's this job. Here's a couple of skills that you want to highlight. You're going to have to do some thinking here to add stuff into these prompts. But what you get back is going to be a much, much better first draft.
So good. Interview Academy might be the perfect thing you're looking for. Interview Academy is a course Sarah has been working on after delivering hundreds of interview coaching sessions and getting incredible results.
But unfortunately, I'm only one gal living in an Aussie time zone who works a day job, and all of that mean I can't help everyone one-on-one, which drove me crazy.
So for over a year, Sarah's been working on turning all of those amazing lessons into an on-demand, step-by-step interview prep course. We hold your hand through the entire thing,
and you can do it at home in your own time and get instant access right now. Check it out at interviewboss.com.au/interview-academy. The link is in the show notes.
For our prompt number 4, we're going to ask it to help us draft our resume profile section. Now, keyword draft only. I think I need to get on and do this because I have for a long time been wanting like a real punchy, clever, fun profile section / like LinkedIn bio. And I've just haven't got around to it because I struggle to sum up all the epicness that is the many hats that I wear. So this could be fun.
Yes. And the great thing about this prompt is it's going to help you draft it, but also this one isn't going to be a one and done kind of a prompt. This prompt is going to start off the flow of a conversation back and forth with you and ChatGPT. So it actually says, please ask me questions to gather the necessary information and then use my answers to draft a profile section. So it's going to say, hey, what do you think about this? What are your key strengths? What are your whatever? So it's going to kind of step you through adding some information.
Geez, we're putting it to work.
Aren't we, right? We're being like, you come up with the questions. You tell me what you should say. It's like, you tell me what I should ask you. We're making it do the work of asking, like, what information do you even need in order to write this thing? Like, we're really putting it to work, like you said. And our goal is we're going to be highlighting our key skills and achievements. We're going to show how our background aligns with the roles, and it's going to be nice and short. It's going to be in the way that we kind of recommend. But ChatGPT is going to come up with all sorts of stuff here. This is only a draft, but I really think a lot of people get stuck with their resume profile section, like you just mentioned, Em. And if you're starting from zero, you might find that it writes a really great sentence for you. Great, steal that whole sentence. But then go back to the interview boss template, the resume template, and have a look at how short we recommend, the way that we kind of recommend it to be laid out. Make sure that you're not going really well beyond that. Like, use it for inspiration, use it to pull things out of, use it to kind of prompt you back and forth and make you think of things. The questions that it asks you might be really good. And you might go, oh, what is my value that I offer an organization? I don't know. And you might put something in there and that gives you a light bulb moment. It's a process, but I think this is going to be really helpful.
Next up, we are going to get it to help us start our salary research, because we all know if you're going to get a job, you're going to have to do the negotiations. And in order to negotiate, you need to know what kind of field you're operating in. What are other people getting paid in the industry? So we're going to feed it some information on the industry that we're in, the location, our experience level, the company type, and any other relevant details, and get it to spit out all of that. That's going to help us get a ballpark figure of where we might sit.
Yes. And my favorite part about this is that in this prompt that you need to copy and paste, it's going to give you, here's a starting point, here's some places that you can kind of go, but also it's going to give you a disclaimer. I am making you tell it to give you a disclaimer at the end, because I want it to tell you its limitations on that information that it has provided you. Depending on where you're based, its information sources, how recent it is, all of those things, maybe what version of ChatGPT you're using, you need disclaimers. It needs to say, hey, I don't actually have much information about that, or this is only from a year ago, or whatever it might be relevant. You need the disclaimer read back to you.
We don't want it to say $300,000 a year and then you get disheartened when you realise it's actually more like $30,000 a year and now you're heartbroken.
Yes. And it's a starting point only, obviously, with salary research, but some people have no idea what, certain roles might be offering or what the kind of ranges might be. And if you can at least narrow it down by industry, location, experience level, company type, some of those things, then maybe it'll give you a bit of a rough idea. We have a whole episode on salary research. So if you need help with this, go and check out that episode. But this is an interesting one. I think people may not have realized that you could use it for that.
Yeah, I love this. This next one is we're going to get it to write a coffee chat message, which is so great because sometimes it can feel a little bit awkward, or you're like, oh, how do you word it to be friendly and like complimentary? Because normally you chime in and be like, I love what you do or whatever, but without being like too full on. So I think this is nice so that we just get rid of any of those awkward vibes and shoot our shot to someone that might be able to help us in our career.
Yeah. And as soon as you start with like something here, it's going to give you a little message that you can send on LinkedIn, in your LinkedIn DMs, or as an email if you have the person's email. And you're going to see something come out and you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't say that. Great. Well, that gives you a starting point. You can change it, but it's going to get you pretty close, I think.
For sure. Next, we are going to get it to write a list of topics that we can prep for our interview from the job ad. So feed it the job ad, get it to brainstorm a range of topics that might come up in the interview and use it for a bit of practice.
Yes. So this is something that I do with every single interview coaching client, is that I grab the list of the requirements section in the job ad. Now, if you've done our free training, our top interview tips, this might be a little bit familiar. So you grab the requirements section from the job description or the job ad. These might be required skills. It might be about you, something like that. It basically is going to say communication skills. You must have 2 years experience, whatever those things are. And we break it down into what are the individual topics that are in those things. Now, some of the sentences or some of the bullet points might have like 3 different requirements. It might say communicate with internal and external stakeholders. Well, that's 2 different things, isn't it? Internal and then external. They might be 2 different stories that you might need. This is going to really help you for coming up with your best bits to make sure that you're covering all the topics that they have asked about in the job ad. Now, this isn't going to be the full end of all of your interview prep, but that can be really helpful just to dump it in there and put this prompt in to give it some additional context and then say, narrow these down. And that's going to be a checklist for how you do your interview prep.
Amazing. I have just glanced at our final prompt and this is epic.
This is prompt number 8 is the Emma Smith prompt.
Although I'm scared because maybe this is going to replace me, but we're going to ask it to give you a pep talk. So it's Emma on demand. I obviously can't personally be there to give you a pep talk always, but let's get the robot to do it. We're going to tell it, I'm feeling unsure about my abilities for insert job title or goal, and I could really use a pep talk. Here's a bit about me. Put in your resume, ask it to give you a confidence-boosting pep talk that sounds like it's coming from a supportive friend and highlight why I'm capable. How great is that?
I know, right? And it's going to be so much fun. I want people to tell us what it says. Please screenshot, tag us, send it to us via DMs, email it. If you're on Spotify, comment something below of what it comes up with. I want to see if it comes up with anything kind of unhinged about why you're incredible for the role.
Yeah, I'm going to try this afterward. Maybe I can just adapt this to life, like be like, I'm bracing to go into the grocery store. Give me a pep talk about why I can do it and what makes me capable.
See? And the thing is, this is where the pro versions kind of come in. If you have the pro versions, it can remember things about you a little bit better. And so you won't have to give it the information every time. You can be like, based on what you know about me so far. And it will, all the other stuff that you've asked it.
It's kind of creepy based on what you already know about me because we spend so much time talking online.
I know. And that's actually probably a good segue into a bit of a disclaimer where I'm saying insert resume. Please don't drop your entire document in there and like including your phone number and email address and your name and your full everything. Like I am a bit aware of like we're giving it all of our life information. Like I try and de-identify a lot of stuff where I can. I don't want to give it people's real names. You can use insert name or, for a blah, blah, blah job title. Like you don't have to give it the exact details of where you're applying. You can say use insert company kind of thing. I don't know, just a bit of a privacy note, I would say, is that I don't want it to have my date of birth and my email address and all of my identifying information. Like let's, just prepare ourselves a little bit for when the robots overtake the world.
Great. Well, I think everyone listening is going to be stoked with those prompts to level up their ChatGPT game. Like we've said, your answers are only going to be as good as the information you feed it. So hopefully this inspired how you can work smarter, not harder when it comes to utilizing bots.
Yes. Now, this is going to be our very last episode of 2024. If you're listening to this in real time, then we're going on a bit of a break. We will be back in 2025, don't you worry. But hence why we thought we'd leave you in the capable hands of ChatGPT with some downloadable prompts to keep you busy over the holiday season.
When we come back in 2025, I think you should update people geographically where you will be speaking from.
Yes, there might be a little hemisphere relocation for this half of Interview Boss. That's all I'll say.
She's going to Canada and I'm going to miss her so much, but nothing will change because luckily we record remotely, even though we live 1 hour apart. We have never, ever recorded in the same room. So whenever I've been telling anyone, they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to the podcast? And I'm like, nothing, nothing at all. But yes, Sarah's going to just live out the rest of her days eating flapjacks with bacon and maple syrup. And she's going to get into ice hockey. And what else do Canadians do? She's going to really start watching How I Met Your Mother. She's just
to study Canadian? Robin. No.
Yeah. Oh, Robin is, that's right.
Character is Canadian. Oh, Emma, I'm going to become a bit of a beaver obsessed fan. Like I just think beavers are just fascinating. Is that weird? I don't know. I think they're the great little weird animals.
Yeah. I mean, I have never been up and close and personal with a beaver, but they kind of give rats of the water.
No, don't say that.
I think they're big water rats. It's if a water rat and a termite had a baby, it would be a beaver. Don't they eat wood? Like in cartoons, the beavers always gnaw on the logs in the river.
Yeah, they do, but they just build things.
Oh, do they? They're the little carpenters of the river. Yeah, report back.
I think they block running water and so they can be a bit of a nuisance because they keep damming the things that are not meant to be dammed and creating problems and whatever. Yeah.
Oh, clever cookies. Well, anyway, Sarah's becoming a Canadian, and if you're listening and you're a Canadian, just know that you've got a new citizen coming your way.
Okay. Thank you,
That's all.
everyone, for 2024. We will be back next year. And if you're listening to this later, well, then that's fine. You're listening to this later. It's just as relevant, I'm sure, in the future. But thank you so much for listening to Interview Boss right now and then all this year. If you like hearing the sound of our voices, make sure you follow us in Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Or better yet, tell someone else about the show. Send them this episode, download the ChatGPT prompts and share that with them too. That's how we can help even more people and we can hit the charts, we can get better guests, we can keep giving you all this excellent content. And make sure to chuck us a follow on Instagram at Interview Boss. Follow along with all of the moving progress. I'm going to be way more active on our Instagram. Make sure you check it out. Can you believe we are in our 3rd season of Interview Boss?
Not really. It's crazy. But that means there are over 90 episodes we've made.
Oh my God. Scrolling through all of our episode titles, you might miss an episode that actually is exactly what you're looking for.
Yes, we get so many messages of people asking us to do an episode on something and we're like, we already have. So we've put together playlists to help you find the episodes that are best suited to you. If you're applying for jobs, we have episodes about resumes, cover letters and job ads. If you've been offered your dream job, we have episodes on resigning, exit interviews and how to impress at your new company.
Yes, and we even have a playlist for if you have an interview like tomorrow and you need just our most recommended episodes, just the ones you really need between now and then.
Exactly. It is all there for you. You can browse by category. Check out the playlist at www.interviewboss.com.au/podcast.